Hello Divine Ones, this is Fairy Dust 1111, and this video is about the new moon in Libra, as well as how we can work with the energies in the new moon in Libra. And so I will go over the details of this energy, and then I will go over how we can work with this energy as they would call a ritual. And a ritual is nothing but activating energies that are already around you. Manifest the life you desire. Okay, and so this video first is posted in Patreon, so you guys can check out my Patreon page, and for as little as $1.11 a month, you have access to the exclusive information on Patreon, and as well, this will help support more information and videos such as this. Okay, so first let's go into the energies of the new moon in Libra. So just rolling out of the full moon in Aries and facing deep wounding that brought things to the surface to be healed through karmic burning. For those, including yours truly, that are entering into the fall equinox, it is a time to face our shadow selves. For those in the southern hemisphere, you are rolling into the spring equinox, or currently you're actually in the spring equinox. And this is a great time to start new projects and to transcend the old wounding and dropping old hindering habits. For more insight into those energies, you can check out my astrology and tarot channel message that will be linked down below. And now for the new moon in Libra, being able to see all sides of the story in the individual, being able to see and even feel the inner workings of an individual and empathize with them. But this is also a caution not to be blinded by this empathy and allow others to cross over your borders and boundaries. It is like seeing a weed and the beauty within the weed, but remember that weeds do choke flowers out, taking the nutrients from others. So be wary of the vampire energy, such as energy vampires, those that are seeking to feed off of your high vibrational energy. Libra is the sign of scales and balances, the balance of emotions, energy, emotion within ourselves. By being in tune with our higher selves, we can balance the scales within our lives. This new moon is between the harvest full moon in Aries, ushering in the fall equinox, and the hunter's full moon in Taurus. For me, it feels like an auspicious, abundant time, with harvest, reaping what one has sown, and collecting our return on our investment, but having the fortitude to push forward with the hunter full moon in Taurus to accumulate more abundance. But remember, do not squander all of your abundance in one place. But remember to store some of your abundance for the winter months ahead, meaning live in and enjoy your abundance, but do not squander it all in one place, all at one time. The new moon in Libra ritual. So a ritual is just having a practice, a routine, working with energies that you have at hand. New moons are new beginnings, a great time to plant new seeds and allow them to flourish and manifest into the physical. Depending on where the moon is residing in the astrological chart are the energies that you can focus on. So this new moon is actually in Libra. So we would want to focus on balancing our energies within ourselves, as well as balancing our relationships and our viewpoints on different aspects around us. So some of the ways and how to tap into this type of energy would be to get your energy up, your emotions up, which is energy emotion. So first off, I would say clean your area. So the more clutter that you have around, it's harder for you to move around. And this is the same thing energetically. So not only just cleaning your space in a traditional sense of cleaning out your space, make sure it's not too much clutter that is around, so that way those energies can flow through. But this is also on a spiritual plane, on an energetic plane. So different ways of how individuals clean their space. They use sage or either Palo Santo. You can actually find a link to Palo Santo incense, which I like to work with. And you can find that link down below that I will have. And but some people use Palo Santo as far as like the wood, or either like shaped like little cones. That's what they're called. And as well, some people like to use sage. And so you can make your own sage by taking paper and putting sage that you can find in a grocery store, wrapping it up, and you can burn it like that, you know, around your space. Or either you could just buy like offline like sage rolls, and those are used a lot in ritualistic type of work. So it's just cleansing your space, getting rid of the negative energy. So after you do that, this is allowing for the space and the energies to come through, the energies that you want to come through. Because if you go to my energy video, you will understand that how energy works. And so energy, aka perspectives, aka emotions, spirits, entities, are all around you at all times, everywhere you go. And so if you want to usher in a specific type of energy perspective entity to work with, then you need to get rid of the other ones out of the way so you can focus in on that specific one that you want to usher in. So I would say with the Libra New Moon that you want to usher in balance. You want to usher in connectivity to the right types of spirits or energies or perspectives that you want to work with. So after you have cleansed your space, you could work with, I would say, with candles. Candles are a real good way of how to usher in energy. Different types of candles that people like to use. You have your traditional candles that are not covered in any type of covering. They're just like the plain wax candles. And people would carve into the candle what they would like to usher in. So for this, I would say usher in balance, in alignment with your higher self, in balance within relationships, harmonic relationships, harmonic type of energy around you to feel grounded and well balanced. And so you can do this. Just you could either do this using numbers, depending on the specific type of numbers that you like to work with or that have been shown to you. You can also do this with images. So symbols. A lot of times people use symbols. It's no different than symbols are like logos. You think about a business with the logo. And so with that being said, for example, Nike, the check, you automatically know what company that is associated with that specific symbol. So if you have a symbol for balance for you, or for something that you want to activate balance within, for example, if you want to activate balance within a specific relationship, then you would use a sign or symbol for that relationship and how to balance out the energies within that relationship. So for example, if it's a relationship with your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend that you want to activate balance within, then maybe you could use a heart if you wanted to. You could use whatever symbol that feels right for you. You could carve into the side of the candle. Now, for a easier type of way of how to do this, you can go to the dollar store, to your local botanica, or you can find these candles like in Walmart. So the ones that are actually encased in glass, which are a little safer and they're a little easier to work with. With those other candles I was referring to that do not have a covering, a lot of times people like to put dressings on there, such as oils, and dip them in herbs and stuff. So and another benefit with those type of candles is when you understand how to read the candles, meaning the way how they burn, and after they finish burning, that you were able to collect information in regards to what you were trying to, the energies that you were bringing in and information you were bringing in regards to the connection of your request, or pretty much like your request for that candle. Okay, now going back to the glass candles, the encased candles. So you could do the same thing. You could take a magic marker and you can write your request on that actual candle. You can use as well images. Wanted to balance out your earthly wisdom with your divine wisdom, you can draw, for example, an eye, which typically would be like the eye of God. And that could be your symbol for ushering in balance within wisdom. For example, you could also just cut out pictures from magazines and you can glue them on the side of there if you don't want to draw. If you work with numbers, you can write the numbers on the side of the candles all around, and then you could burn the candle, and that is like producing energy within that space that you have cleansed. So another option that you have, if you don't want to use like live candles, then you can just take a candle. You can also find these at like Walmart. You can find them at the dollar store, and they're just plastic candles that are almost like they actually have a light in them, so you can just turn them on, and you don't have to risk, burning anything. And so you just take and do the same thing. Either you can write with a magic marker, or either you can glue on like images in which you want to use in the energies that you want to usher in at that time, using that same type of technique. So either way, whatever technique you want to use, if you want to use a live candle, a glass candle, or either just a plastic candle, this is a great way of how to usher in that energy within you. Some people like to have chants, mantras, aka affirmations. So a good affirmation, you could write, I would suggest you writing your own, because it will be connected to you. You put that energy and that thought into producing that yourself. It's like you writing your own song almost. So you could, I would say with this new moon in Libra, to usher in balance. It's all about like balance, and balance in the energies as far as like with relationships and relation within yourself, the way how you relate to yourself, being well balanced, and making sure that your affirmation is about a balance. And so you also want to, as a reminder, you want to put things, word things in present day. So not saying that I want to be balanced. Say I am balanced, I'm well balanced, and having short phrases, maybe about 4 to 6 lines long. So maybe about a paragraph, real simple, real easy, getting straight to the point. I am a well balanced individual. I have well balanced energy. I have well balanced relationships, something like that. And so I would do this after I make my dressings on my candle. Then when I light the candle, turn it on, whichever one, that I will say this. And I would do this in the morning as well as at night. And I would not leave the candle unattended. You have some people that are actually like, they work with this, like as far as the candle workers, so they may be a little more experienced. But however, if you're just starting off with this, I would say not to leave it unattended unless it's the plastic candle. Some of the other ways of how individuals like to work with this energy is to actually write a letter. So you can write a letter to the energies, and it's just telling the energies what you want, but you want to do it in a present day tense, as if you already have it. Because when you say, oh, I want this, it's like saying that I have lack. So the way how you can write the letter could be a short, straight to the point letter. You can say, energies of balance, I thank you for being in my life. I feel overjoyed by the balance that I have. I feel at peace, at rest. I feel in the moment by having these balanced energies working in my life. And something like that. And you can even break it down into like not just with yourself. You can break it down to with your relationships with your children. I have such well balanced relationships with my children. They trust me, they're honest with me, I'm honest with them. You could do this with your spouse. You could do this with relationships at work. About also with your balancing of your finances, because we also, when I was mentioning before, we're in between the harvest full moon in Aries as well as the hunter's full moon in Taurus. So you think about a harvest. A harvest is when you're collecting what you have already, the work you've already put in. So I sowed those seeds in the springtime, and now it's time for me to collect what I have sown. And then with the hunter's new moon, is like I still have the strength and the fortitude to be able to go out and still provide and seek and bring in new abundance. So I'm abundant full year round. And so the abundance that I have coming into me from what I've already sown, and the abundance that I'm going to produce, will help carry me over to the next season. And so with this is all also about your abundance, about your finances too. And so you could, include that in your statement, or your statement, your letter, whatever you want to call it, that my finances are well balanced. I am fully abundant. I have no lack at all. I have a continuous flow of abundance. So you can cover all aspects of your life within this ritual. So after you write your affirmation that you're going to say in the daytime and at nighttime before you go to sleep, because especially when you first wake up, you have certain chemicals in your brain, where you're sort of kind of in this, what they call alpha state. So it's easy to allow that information to seep into your suppressed conscious mind to start to change things within your mental and your energy. And then the same thing when you're about to go to sleep, into dream state, where you're like this really relaxed, where your suppressed conscious mind can be programmed. That's why I would say not to play the TV while you're asleep, or even music, unless it's like music that will activate healing, activate balance. And this is another technique too, getting music, or you can look this up on YouTube, balancing chakras, balancing energy, music. So that's one way how to work it. So work those energies within you. And what I was saying about with the mantra, saying that before you go to sleep, so that will also seep into the suppressed conscious mind. So you would say that in the morning time, you would say that at night, and then with your letter, you will write that letter. You actually keep that letter until, like, with the full moon, when you're coming into the full moon, and then you can burn that letter. And so the burning of it is just like releasing that energy that was entrapped in the foliage of the paper. So it's like descending that into the atmosphere. And so the reason why I would say to do it around the full moon, because the full moon is like bringing things to the eye, to the physical. So in the new moon, you can't see what's going on. You like, oh, where did the moon go? But as the full moon starts to show and illuminate and glow, it's like the growing of those energies. And so it's like the growing, aka the manifesting of which you have set out in the new moon. So it's like the harvest, like sort of like with harvest. Like I planted the seed into the ground, and now the seed has grown with the full moon. And the best time to really start with this ritual would be maybe about 2 days before the new moon. So the new moon is actually, the new moon is on Monday, October 8th. So I would say start your ritual on Saturday, like Friday, Saturday, and start to put this into action. I would say try to have your letter written by Sunday afternoon at the latest, and continue your ritual until if you're using like a raw candle, like the ones that you light up, and if it burns out before reaching the moon, that's fine. The full moon, that's completely fine. For those that are using like the battery operated candle, I would say do this until around the full moon is coming in, till about like 2-3 days before the full moon. And to continue this, because the longer you continue it, the more that it seeks into the suppressed conscious mind, the more you are ushering in those energies. And for those that, like, say your candle burns out before, like way before, within the first week or something like that, I would still continue with the mantras, and just taking those candle remnants, and you can hold on to them until you were about to burn your letter, and then you burn all that stuff. You put it your ashes from your letter into like the bag, and you can just throw it into the garbage. Some people do bury it, or put it into like a river or a pond or something like that. You can just throw it away, put it in a plastic bag, just throw it away how you would do in the garbage, And for those that are viewing this on YouTube afterwards, after I post this on Patreon, you can go check out the other information I have on Patreon. And that link will actually be down below. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, as well as leave like a comment, your thoughts, what you want to, for the energies that you want to usher in within this Libra new moon, the type of balanced energies that you want to usher in. And this is important because we want to raise our vibration, our energy, our emotions, our energy emotion, and putting it and setting it forth into the motion, the direction in which we want. And so the more energy that you have conducted, the more that it will snowball and start to move. So it's like the more the individuals recognize something, the more energy that it is applied to that subject. All right. And so this is good, not just for you, but this is also good for others that it will reach, because the more likes and comments that the video has, the more that YouTube will push it to other ones. And so this information could help other divine ones out there to start to work with the energies that they want to bring and usher into their existence, their 3D experience. And for those that haven't subscribed, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button so you can receive notifications when I post new videos and I go live. In addition, for those that have purchase services, that will also list it down below, readings and counseling, etc. Thank you very much. And for those that have given, the 613 Higher Knowledge, Higher Wisdom Energetic Exchange, also known as a donation, you can find that link down below. And I thank you guys for that. And I thank you guys for tuning in. You know, if you have any other information that you want to share, this is a great place for us to share information. You can also find me on Instagram if you guys want to share a successful Sunday story. If you have anything that, you want to, just drop in, go check out that page, because I post a lot of updates on there that I can't post here on YouTube. And if you find this information useful as well, you can share it on your social media accounts. You can also share it with other ones. So I thank you guys, and I look forward to hearing the things that you want to manifest using this energy. And I thank you once again. Peace.